In this explainer, we're diving into something I think we can all relate to: getting unstuck. We're going to break down a way to escape those reactive thought patterns that cause so much stress and hopefully find a real, profound sense of inner peace.
So, let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're just stuck? You know, on that mental hamster wheel of stress and reaction, something happens, you instantly react, you get anxious, and then tomorrow, it's the same thing all over again.
Well, it turns out that feeling isn't random at all. It actually comes from a very specific mode of thinking, what we can call the default mind. Think of it as our factory setting, you know? It's programmed to be impulsive, to react out of pure habit, and let's be honest, to look for something or someone to blame when things don't go our way. It's what creates that whole cycle of blame and anxiety.
Okay, section 1, the mind's hamster wheel. Let's really dig into the two mindsets that either keep us spinning in that cycle or, and this is the important part, help us finally step off. So here they are, side by side. On one hand, you've got the default mind. That's our autopilot, impulsive, reactive, always looking for a fight. But then there's the other option, the discerning mind. This is where we're reflective, calm, rational, and we respond with real wisdom. And the key thing here? The goal isn't to get a whole new brain. It's just about learning how to consciously shift gears from that default mode to this more discerning one. There's this great little story that just hits the nail on the head. Picture this. Two guys get into a fight. One of them starts yelling, just totally losing it. The other guy, he just looks at him, completely calm, and says, "God bless you." Now you can imagine, this makes the first guy even more furious, but the second guy just stays cool as a cucumber.
Now, it's so important to see that the guy who said "God bless you" wasn't being weak, not at all. He was showing incredible strength. He made a conscious choice to break that cycle of reaction. He flat out refused to get on that hamster wheel. That is the power of the discerning mind.
All right, section 2, facing life's ultimate realities. So if we want to cultivate that kind of inner strength, we first have to get real with ourselves. We have to face some hard truths about life itself. And for that, we're going to look to some ancient wisdom to help us see things clearly.
So we're looking at an ancient Sanskrit text called the Bhaja Govindam, and it doesn't mess around. It starts with this really stark, direct reminder that forces us to look at the first ultimate reality head-on. Our time here is limited.
And look, thinking about this stuff isn't meant to be depressing or morbid. It's more like seeing the twilight at the end of the day. It's just a natural signal, a reminder to pause and reflect, to ask yourself, hey, how did I spend my daylight hours? What am I actually doing with my time right now?
And then the text hits us with another hard truth. It says, when that end comes, all the external stuff we spend our lives chasing, you know, our status, our accomplishments, even all the knowledge we cram into our heads, which the text cleverly calls grammar lessons, none of it is going to save you. It'll be completely powerless.
So trying to find real, lasting security in these external things, it's like building this giant, impressive fortress that you know deep down time is just going to wear away to nothing. Or it's like trying to clutch a fistful of sand. The harder you squeeze, the faster it just slips right through your fingers.
So, if all that external stuff is just sand slipping through our fingers, what's left? What can we rely on? The answer is what we call inner resources. These are the strengths you actually build inside yourself, things like wisdom and peace and calm. And these are what give you real stability, no matter what craziness is happening out there in the world. Okay, so that leads us right in to section 3, the practice of turning inward. This is the how-to. How do we actually build these inner resources? Well, it all starts with a very conscious practice of turning our focus away from the outside world and looking inward.
This whole journey can really be broken down into 3 key steps. Step 1 is to listen and learn. This is all about humility, just admitting, you know what, I don't know, but I want to know. Then, step 2 is to reflect and contemplate. You take what you've learned and you really chew on it, asking, okay, I don't fully get this yet, let me work to understand it. And finally, step 3 is to practice and experience. This is where the rubber meets the road. You say, I understand it in theory, but I don't feel it, so now I have to practice.
And this is absolutely crucial. This process is not about fighting your restless mind. It's not about wrestling your thoughts into submission. All that does is create more inner conflict. The real strategy is so much simpler and honestly way more powerful. You just change the mind's direction. You gently turn it inward.
Let me give you a really beautiful metaphor to help this click. Just picture a huge, wide-open blue sky. Got it? Okay, Now imagine millions and millions of birds flying through that sky.
Now think about it. All those birds flying around, coming and going, making noise. Do they distort the sky? Do they damage it? Do they leave any mark on it at all? Do they change the nature of the sky itself?
The answer is, of course not. The sky is just the sky. It's totally unaffected. Well, in this metaphor, all your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions, those are the birds. But you, your deep, true awareness, you're the sky. You are that vast, calm, always present space that all this mental weather happens in. And that core part of you is never, ever touched by it.
So that brings us to section 4, mastering your inner world. Because once you start identifying with the sky instead of the birds, that's when everything changes. That's how you begin to master your inner world, and believe me, the transformation is profound. What does that transformation look like?
Well, for starters, you stop being a victim of your own mind and you become its master. That whole blame game, that reactive loop, it just dissolves because you finally see that the source was internal all along. And you awaken to this incredible wellspring of peace and happiness that, guess what, was inside you the whole time.
But true, lasting transformation isn't just a thought experiment. It's not just an idea in your head. It really happens when everything lines up, when there's this perfect synergy between what you know in your head, what you truly feel in your heart, and what you actually do with your hands.
And when those three, head, heart, and hands, finally click into place, they stop being three separate things. They become one, a single integrated whole. That's the goal, right? That feeling of inner coherence, where what you think, what you feel, and what you do are all in perfect, beautiful harmony.
And all of this entire alignment, is built on one foundational belief, one core conviction, and it's this. The source of your suffering is not the world outside. It's not other people. It's not the situation. It's your mind. It's your own mind's reaction to all of it.
So, I want to leave you with one final question to think about. If it's true, if the source of all your suffering is your own mind, then what does that say about the source of your peace? Where do you think your joy, your calm, and that deep, unshakable inner peace truly come from?